Hi guys, JT here, and today I'm bringing you some information on all games in Fanatical's Bethesda Bundle of May 2025. To help you answer the question, should you buy it? By using the links in the description below, you'll gain access to this bundle and have the opportunity to gain early access to videos for buying a copy through Buy Me a Coffee or Ko-Fi. Your support means the world to me, and I absolutely appreciate it beyond words can say. Anyway, let's get into this. At number 1 we have The Elder Scrolls III Morrowind Game of the Year Edition. Released in 2002, it may lack the visual polish of modern games, but its depth and engrossing narrative make it an unforgettable experience. Morrowind's introduction doesn't hold your hand, it hands you paperwork and thrusts you into an open world, leaving you to decide your path. The island of Vardenfell is a strange landscape dominated by a volcano, red mountain with giant mushrooms, stone pinnacles, and bizarre creatures. The political structure, with the tribunal and the 5 great houses, adds layers to the lore, which spans thousands of years. The storytelling is both a strength and a weakness. While the narrative is fantastic, the delivery lacks personality, relying on encyclopedic explanations. The main plot involves proving yourself as the Nirvarin, combating the awakening threat of Dogath-Ur, and uncovering the history of Morrowind. The game's atmospheric music and immersive world are occasionally interrupted by frustrating cliff racer encounters. The visuals, despite their 2002 aesthetic, contribute to the grand adventure feeling. Combat, however, is a weak point, relying on dice roll mechanics that can feel unsatisfying. Morrowind improves upon Daggerfall's flaws, offering a distinct, smaller world with varied towns and reduced non-randomized dungeons. Exploration is encouraged, with fast travel options and more surface-focused quests. However, the gameplay can thin out towards the end. Morrowind lacks the emergent situations of later titles, but compensates with unparalleled depth. It challenges you to explore an alien world, and if you can navigate its quirks, it promises an experience you'll always remember. The Game of the Year edition includes new gameplay mechanics, quests, locations, dungeons, armor, weapons, and more creatures to murder. At number 2 we have Dishonored Death of the Outsider, a standalone expansion to the 2016 immersive assassin sim Dishonored 2. Developed by Arcane Studios and published by Bethesda, the expansion introduces players to Billy Lurk, who is on a mission to kill the Outsider, a godlike being. The game presents a semi-directed design with intricate possibilities and routes, showcasing Dishonored's strengths. The expansion's standout mission is a heist involving breaking into a heavily fortified bank. Billy's journey involves diverse targets, emphasizing information and items over traditional assassination. Her unique powers, drawn directly from the Void, offer interesting mechanics. Displace functions like Blink, but allows for teleportation to a marked location, making it useful for escape and traversal. Semblance lets Billy steal an NPC's face, aiding in moving among guards without being attacked. This expansion's environment resembles Dishonored 2, featuring densely packed areas with detail and side stories. A contract system adds optional objectives from the black market, diversifying gameplay. Some criticisms arise, like 2 missions occurring in the same district, and the limited time for certain revelations. Despite minor grievances, Death of the Outsider presents an engaging free-form stealth experience, offering enjoyable encounters, new perspectives on characters, and a fulfilling conclusion to the Dishonored storyline. While it may not match the consistency of its predecessor, it still adds depth and atmosphere to the series' world. At number 3 we have The Evil Within 2, a psychological action horror game that is determined to terrify players beyond jump scares. The game revels in its grotesqueness, featuring scenes of burning to death, exploding heads, and force feeding. While there are the occasional cheap frights from the game's zombie natives, The Evil Within 2 offers a far more ambitious game than the 2014 original, with its torture antagonists, open-world elements, and manifestations of guilt-driven grief. The game drops protagonist Sebastian Castellanos into a simulated world of Union, which is a corrupted, monster-ridden town thought to contain his presumed dead daughter, Lily. The open-world structure presents a more thoughtful approach to progression, and the game's new cover system enhances the stealth elements. Variety in means of attack is important, as the environment can often be manipulated to suit the player's circumstances. The game offers a new crafting system that lets you turn your plundered treasures into bullets, crossbow bolts, and health items, among other things. The narrative tells a similar tale of anguish, where Castellanos has been duped by the faceless Mobius Corporation. The game features unpredictable foes in the form of mentally unhinged art lover Stefano Valentini and power-mad cultist Father Theodore Wallace, who will both keep you on your toes in the story and in battle. If you're into a game with a good blend of horror, action, and story, this game is definitely one to play. At number 4 we have Fallout 4, a post-apocalyptic sandbox RPG. In the game, you play as a vault dweller, exploring a world devastated by nuclear war. The game offers a highly customizable experience with intricate systems that allow you to tailor your gameplay to your liking. The main storyline revolves around your character's search for their kidnapped son in the Commonwealth, a condensed version of Massachusetts. The story is considered one of Bethesda's best, tying in closely with side plots and factions. However, the ending is abrupt and can leave players feeling unsatisfied. Fallout 4 features a large and detailed world set in Boston, offering a mix of familiar locations and new areas. The graphics, while improved from previous Bethesda games, still shows the limitations of the aging creation engine. The game's atmosphere strikes a balance between brutality and lightheartedness, with a sense of discovery and mystery driving exploration. The addition of voiced protagonists enhances immersion, and the companions are more than just a pack of mules, providing depth to the world and story. The new settlement system allows players to construct and customize settlements using resources collected from the environment. While it can be gratifying to see a settlement thrive, the workshop interface can be fiddly, and managing resources between settlements can be cumbersome. Gun customization is a notable feature, allowing players to modify their weapons with various attachments. The shooting mechanics are enjoyable, making combat a highlight of the game. The scarcity of ammo encourages experimentation and adds to the tension. Despite some flaws, Fallout 4 offers a vast and engaging post-apocalyptic world with a compelling main story, intriguing side quests, and immersive gameplay mechanics. At number 5 we have Rage 2. Rage 2 presents itself as one of the most archetypal video games players have encountered. It amalgamates concepts from extensive history of first-person shooters, drawing inspiration from a myriad of titles, both renowned and obscure. Despite its evident lack of originality, Rage 2 manages to captivate players with its gratifying gameplay, making it surprisingly challenging to disengage from. At its essence, Rage 2 is a fusion of derivative yet impeccably executed ideas, ensconced within a structure that scarcely qualifies as an open world. Players assume the role of walker, traversing a relatively modest map in search of arcs, massive pre-apocalyptic chambers, that unlock new abilities and weapons to combat the authoritarian force known as the Authority. The game's narrative serves merely as a thin justification for the protagonist's arsenal of powers and weaponry, urging them to roam the open world, dispatching mutants, and collecting resources to enhance their prowess. While traditional missions are scarce, each challenge entails driving to a location, dispatching threats, and scavenging for loot. What truly distinguishes Rage 2 is its dynamic combat system, offering an array of abilities and weapons that encourage experimentation. Whether flinging enemies into walls, suspending them mid-air, or unleashing devastating attacks, players are afforded ample opportunities for creative carnage. Despite the game's structured linearity, the sheer joy of its combat mechanics elevates the overall experience, rendering it a compelling journey through a world brimming with borrowed yet exhilarating concepts. At number 6 we have The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, Game of the Year Edition, a highly acclaimed open-world RPG. Developed by Bethesda Softworks, the game is celebrated for its vast, immersive world and captivating quests. This edition includes the original game, along with 2 expansions, Knights of the Nine and Shivering Isles. The main storyline revolves around your character's journey through the land of Cyrodiil, tackling quests and uncovering mysteries. The game's accessibility caters to both casual and hardcore gamers, allowing you to enjoy the adventure at your own pace. The expansion, Knights of the Nine, introduces a 10-hour questline that adds depth to the lore, while Shivering Isles offers a large new area to explore, full of bizarre landscapes and characters. Character progression is flexible, with enemies leveling up along with you, ensuring a balanced challenge throughout the game. The game's map is enormous, offering diverse locations, cities, dungeons, and NPCs. The Radiant AI system brings NPCs to life, engaging in realistic activities and interactions. The game's technical aspects, visuals, and audio are praiseworthy, contributing to the immersive experience, even though the visuals may be dated by now. The Game of the Year edition delivers exceptional value, providing over 250 hours of entertainment through its vast content. Whether you're a new player or a returning fan, Oblivion promises a captivating and endearing RPG adventure, making it a highly recommended choice for those seeking an expansive and engaging game world. At number 7 we have Fallout New Vegas Ultimate Edition, a massive RPG that blends post-apocalyptic survival, open-world exploration, and gripping narrative choices. Set in a world devastated by nuclear war, you play as the Courier, a lone wanderer seeking revenge after being shot and left for dead. As you navigate the Mojave Desert, the neon-lit ruins of New Vegas, and surrounding regions, You'll encounter various factions, each vying for control. Your choices will impact alliances with groups like the New Californian Republic, Caesar's Legion, and Mr. House, as well as smaller towns and settlements. The Ultimate Edition includes the base game and 4 DLC expansions, offering over 100 hours of content. These expansions, like Dead Money and Old World Blues, introduce new stories, unique environments, and challenging enemies. You'll need to adapt to each situation, whether you're scavenging for survival or managing your limited resources in a harsh wasteland. The gameplay offers a mix of real-time combat and strategic use of the VATS system, allowing for cinematic slow-motion targeting. You can customize your character through perks, skills, and attributes, making each playthrough feel personal. The game's non-linear design encourages exploration, and you're free to take on quests in any order, shaping your own path. With immersive storytelling, vast exploration, and deep RPG mechanics, Fallout New Vegas Ultimate Edition stands as one of the best post-apocalyptic experiences, giving you the freedom to shape the fate of the Mojave Wasteland. At number 8 we have Wolfenstein Youngblood. This game delivers a standard first-person shooter experience with a unique Nazi-killing angle and co-op functionality. The game offers commendable attributes such as solid gunplay, visually appealing graphics, and an enjoyable co-op feature that adds a layer of excitement. Following the Blazkowicz twins, Soph and Jess, the narrative unfolds in an alternate reality 1980s, where they embark on a quest to locate their missing father and protagonist of previous Wolfenstein titles, BJ Blazkowicz. Unfortunately, the story lacks depth and the characters, including the protagonists, come across as disappointingly one-dimensional. While Youngblood effectively captures the 1980s aesthetic and the alternate reality infused with Nazi influence, the visual appeal is somewhat dampened by the repetitive design of environments. The semi-open world structure allows exploration across hub-connected areas in Paris, but the presence of a leveling system imposes frustrating restrictions, limiting your ability to confront higher-level challenges. Gameplay nuances emerge due to the leveling system, causing guns to feel underpowered and discouraging exploration. The open world design also compromises the effectiveness of stealth mechanics. Additionally, the cooperative features, though enjoyable, can be intrusive at times. Youngblood's cooperative gameplay is serviceable, but the game struggles to strike a balance, featuring occasional connectivity issues and awkward cooperative interactions. Wolfenstein Youngblood falls short of realizing its full potential, providing a decent, yet somewhat mediocre gaming experience. While it has its enjoyable aspects, the forced RPG mechanics and lackluster narrative prevent it from reaching the heights of greatness. At number 9 we have Fallout 3 Game of the Year Edition. An open-world FPS RPG game that was ahead of its time when it was first released in 2008. Set 200 years after the Great War, you play as the Lone Wanderer, a vault dweller in Vault 101. Having spent your entire life in the vault, you have no idea what life is like outside the vault, besides the grim warnings by the vault's overseers about the dangers outside. You soon escape the confines of Vault 101 to find your missing father. What you walk out to is the capital wasteland, the remains of the once great Washington DC, filled with radioactive monsters and bandits. The story, lore, and world are very extensive, and you might get lost as to who is who and what is what. Even after a few dozen hours of playing the game, you'll still be discovering new things and hearing new dialogue. You have a lot of options right off the bat. You can surrender your weapon to the Overseer and leave the vault peacefully, or kill him and fight your way out, which will upset his daughter. The beginning can be quite slow, but if you stick with it, you'll have a very enriching RPG experience. Being made in 2008, naturally, the graphics didn't age very well. The world is not beautiful as what games are today with low textures and ugly character models. In saying that, while the wasteland of a world feels empty, there's enough interesting things peppered around that never leaves it feeling barren. This game is very much a black comedy, with some very strange things happening in its post-apocalyptic setting, like bomb-worshipping cults, talking trees, two-headed cows, etc, etc. But this also gives variety to the world and quests that you'll take on. Side quests are the highlight of this game, as the main story mainly revolves around your father trying to bring clean water to the wasteland, which would be okay if Liam Neeson actually had any charisma in his voice acting as your father. Thankfully, side quests are where the strange, the funny, and the entertaining lie, and they're definitely worth playing through. The combat feels okay, probably great for its time. The VATS system in particular comes very handy when you're trying to shoot somebody's face multiple times. Fallout 3 is one of the most satisfying RPGs to go in, pick a direction and walk, just to see what you can find. Additionally, there are plenty of mods to give you a better experience if the 2008 experience really bothers you. If you haven't taken this journey yet, you definitely want to venture into the Washington DC wasteland. At number 10 we have The Elder Scrolls Online, an MMORPG based around the Elder Scrolls universe. First launched in 2014, this game has come a very long way with a ton of updates and expansions, making it a force to be reckoned with in the MMORPG space. Setting 1,000 years before Skyrim and Oblivion, humans are just starting to explore the world of Tamriel. There are 10 playable races in this game with 6 classes available: Dragon Knight, Sorcerer, Nightblade, Templar, Warden, and Necromancer. The realm of Tamriel itself includes Morrowind, Cyrodiil, Hammerfell, Skyrim, and more. The game's stories are based around the history and myths of these provinces. This game combines traditional MMORPG with first-person gameplay. You can not only choose classes and races with your characters, but also one of the 3 factions on offer: Daggerfall Covenant, the Ebonheart Pact, and the Altmary Dominion, with each faction having its own story and quests to complete, as well as unique skills, abilities, and customization options. There are guilds that you can join to gain additional skills and abilities. This game offers a variety of quests, dungeons, and raids for you to complete, with an extensive player versus player system allowing you to murder other players for glory and rewards. The combat system emphasizes player skills along with character attributes and offer a variety of combat choices like magic, skills, and weapons. Each class naturally has its own skill set, like Dragon Knights focused on melee damage and tanking, while Sorcerers specialize in range and crowd control. This game offers a healthy player base, regular updates with new content including dungeons, raids, and new zones, with new yearly expansions and DLCs released 3 times a year. Elder Scrolls Online features an entertaining story and exciting gameplay that will keep you occupied for hours, and be the one who has no life.
At number 11 we have Quake 4, a narrative-driven sci-fi military-style first-person shooter released on October 2005. You play as Marine Corporal Matthew Kane, part of the elite Rhino Squad, spearheading Earth's military invasion of the alien homeworld Strogos. Following the assassination of Strog's leader in Quake 2, Earth reignites its attack, and you soon discover that the only way to defeat the Strog might be to become one of them. As you navigate through the high-detail linear environments, you'll upgrade and wield advanced weaponry to battle a variety of Strog enemies. The game's use of the id Tech 4 engine ensures impressive dynamic lighting and shadows, adding to the atmospheric horror-tinged sci-fi setting. The game also features mechanized walkers and hover tanks, which you can use to tear through Strog ranks, and online multiplayer modes like Deathmatch, Team Deathmatch, and Capture the Flag, where you can compete as either a Strog or Marine. The gameplay, while linear, is engaging, with a mix of on-foot and vehicle combat. As you progress, the game's pace quickens, especially after you undergo a dramatic transformation into a Strog, enhancing your abilities and movement speed. This transformation is a standout moment, adding a visceral twist to the gameplay. Despite being a product of its time, with some design and technical limitations, Quake 4 offers a compelling and intense experience, praised for its story, atmosphere, and action. Recent reviews and overall reception are very positive, making it a worthwhile addition to your collection. At number 12 we have Rage. In Rage's expansive wasteland, armed with a keycard, you face a bright blue door, a nod to id Software's corridor shooter legacy. Waking from cryo-sleep as one of the last super soldiers, your journey unfolds in a world torn apart by rival gangs, mutant creatures, and evil factions. Despite the intriguing narrative, the missions thrust you into confined spaces with one clear objective: eliminate threats. The game's design, marked by tight paths through power plants and sewers, is a nod to id Software's legacy, a continuation of the corridor shooter tradition. The wasteland, dotted with hub towns, offers missions that propel you into relentless shootouts. While the game's driving sequences break the monotony, the open world lacks substantial distractions, pushing you to focus on mission-specific journeys. The vehicular combat, although not the norm, adds variety to the overall experience. Rage's vehicles, with their boost capabilities, deliver a sense of speed and excitement. Races, organized by NPCs in hub towns, offer secondary reasons to drive, contributing to the game's economy. However, the racing mechanics, while enjoyable, occasionally lean toward being either too easy or frustratingly difficult. The shooting mechanics, a forte of id Software, shine through in Rage. The arsenal, unrestricted by modern shooter conventions, allows you to carry 9 weapons, each with distinctive characteristics. The enemies, displaying agility and intelligence, keep firefights fresh and tense. The introduction of a crafting system and mini-economy adds depth to the gameplay. While you can engage in traditional firefights, relying on crafted gadgets or letting robo-companions do the work provides alternative, satisfying approaches. Rage is not a groundbreaking departure from id Software's corridor shooter legacy. Despite claims of an expansive world, the game remains comfortably set within the confines of well-crafted corridors. However, the finely tuned shooting mechanics, exhilarating vehicular combat, and the added layer of crafting make Rage a joyride worth taking. If you appreciate id Software's signature style and are ready for a high-octane yet predictable adventure, Rage delivers a satisfying experience. At number 13 we have
Dishonored 2, a stealth game that offers an immersive experience with a compelling narrative. unique characters, and thrilling gameplay. The game offers two distinct runs, with Corvo and Emily, each bringing their unique set of abilities to the table. The light choices you can make throughout the game only play out in the short term, but the ability to trigger hardcore mode at the start with no powers and the chance to collect every rune and bone charm in the game offer a lot of replay value. The heart item from the first Dishonored returns, and is a great way to ease you into additional content. Experimentation is at the core of Dishonored 2, and you're encouraged to try different approaches to challenges, whether it be hand-to-hand combat or stealthy approaches. The game requires you to master every tool you are given, which can be challenging due to the quick deaths and relentless AI, but once you have several chapters under your belt, the game picks up and crescendos into a nice finale. The acquisition of new powers is not the only thing that makes you feel like a badass assassin. It is also the slow drip reward of learning the many intricacies and rules of the game's world. Overall, Dishonored 2 is a game that encourages experimentation and rewards you for mastering the game's mechanics.
At number 14, we have
Wolfenstein: The New Order, an action-adventure first-person game set in an alternate history timeline. Set in the 1960s, the Nazis have won World War II with their superior technology, and most of Europe has been put under their control. You play as BJ Blazkowicz, a badass American soldier who was admitted to a psychiatric asylum after a mission gone wrong, where you remain in a catatonic state. The asylum has been ordered to shut down by the Nazis, and after witnessing some atrocities on the people there, BJ awakens and he goes on a rampage to destroy the Nazi war machine and his nemesis, Wilhelm Strauss, aka Death's Head. The story is actually pretty good, and it basically provides you a reason to shoot Nazis with varying mission objectives to keep things fresh. The alternate history storyline is really interesting, and being a badass bringing down the Nazis feels great. Characters that you meet along the way are also relatable, as they are just regular people oppressed by the regime wanting liberation. You can use a variety of weapons to kill these Nazis, and these range from handguns, assault rifles, shotguns, all the way to more interesting weapons like Tesla grenades and the laser cutter. There are also some sections where you get to pilot mechs to destroy a Nazi encampment, and that is really fun, sitting in the seat of a mech, leveling everything around you. This game is great if you want to feel like a badass action hero in a film, murdering Nazis and bringing down their operations.
At number 15, we have
Wolfenstein: The Old Blood, an alternate history FPS game which serves as the prequel to The New Order. The Old Blood is broken into 2 episodes, which totals to approximately 8 hours long. You once again take on the role of BJ Blazkowicz from The New Order, except it is your past self. In the first episode, you return to Castle Wolfenstein as you attempt to obtain a document that sets up the events of The New Order. It doesn't go as planned, and you need to return to your Nazi murdering ways. You'll encounter new enemy variants like a sniper, some puzzle-like encounters, and a good mix of stealth and action scenes. While most things will feel quite familiar to The New Order, the labyrinth tunnels of the castle makes it feel different from the more open areas of The New Order. The second episode is a lot more interesting because it involves zombies now, and it is completely different from The New Order. There are a few really tense scenes, and the mystery of Helga and her adventures to uncover occult objects will keep you engaged. You have access to new weapons, like a melee pipe and an explosive count pistol. Existing guns have also been refined, making everything feel more viable. The perk system is still attached to challenges like stealth takedowns and weapon-specific kills. Old Blood has great pacing between stealth and action, and doesn't waste time in telling side stories. However, the villains of the Old Blood is not as compelling as Death's Head, and characters are not as developed as the New Order. If you like the New Order, you'll also like the Old Blood. It's practically more of the same, but pepper is some new guns to play with and new enemy types to murder.
And that's all for this bundle. This bundle hits hard if you're a Bethesda fiend looking to round out your Steam library. Whether you're scooping on Morrowind for that sweet collection completion, diving into underrated bangers like The Evil Within 2, or Dishonored: Death of the Outsider, this drop is stacked with must-plays. Quake 4 might be divisive, but if you dig Doom 3 vibes and wild mid-game twists, it is worth a look. For the price, it is a no-brainer. Lock it in. Backlog be damned. In any case, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if this video was helpful, feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and maybe consider unlocking early access to videos of buying the channel or coffee. Special thanks to Terry D for subscribing to your early access army. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.